You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad. Now come dawn, we're going our separate ways.
Yo, if you're not totally on board between the relationship between Joe and Ellie after this episode, son, you ain't got no heart. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, because they brought it in this episode. I'm talking about The Last of Us Episode 6, Ken. Of course, this video will be containing spoilers, so if you haven't seen this episode or if you don't care, let's just get into it. I won't be going beat by beat. I just tell you what I really dug about this episode. Man, these two Eskimos are cooler than a polar bear toenails. Oh hell, there we go again. But yeah, they're cool, you know, like and Joe said, like, you know, smart move to come out here. He's like, come out here, son. We've been about that life. We don't even, you know, apocalypse, what? We was out here way before that. We already been on that. So that's funny. And then Ellie comes down. And Ellie starts talking shit. You know, she got her gun pointing like Dirty Harry. And he's like, who's this psycho? No GPS in the apocalypse. So they go about their way. And they say, don't cross the river. If you cross the river, there is death. We seen the bodies, you know, that they can handle. So they're crossing the river. Everything seems fine. But then they get surrounded by a troop. And this fucking evil ass Civil War German Shepherd dog.
That's a white dog.
Of course he's a white dog.
I don't mean his color. He's caught to attack and kill black people.
They just look like it'll bite your face off, and he's like, you know, smell them if they're affected. Smell Joe first. Oh yeah, you cool, dog. And then it's Ellie's over here. You know, he kind of hesitantly goes up to Ellie, and Joe is so terrified that he can't do anything, bro. He can't do it. What are you gonna do? You're surrounded by a group, and they got a dog that can just eat Ellie's face off right then and there. What can you do? You can do nothing at this point. The German Shepherd smells Ellie, and she's cool. She wouldn't quite detect it. Maybe the dog just couldn't smell it, or she's actually not infected, so maybe it works different from the machines. I want to say this about Joe here. Joe, in this episode, I think, first off, I think it's one of the best performances of Pedro Pascal of this whole entire series thus far, but
Lost something. I'm failing in my sleep. It's all I do. It's all I've ever done. It's failure. Again and again.
Joe here's always losing, bro. Think about it. Think about it. He starts to have the panic attacks, you know, in his episodes, because now he's really forming a bond with Ellie, and he don't want to lose her again. Think about how many L's Joe has taken. You watch a man who's getting older, you know, he's not as quick as he used to be. He's almost deaf in one ear. That's why Henry and Sam were able to sneak up on him. He almost got choked out by a kid, you know, in that convenience store. That shit reminded me of, remember when Cat Williams got choked out by that 13-year-old boy? Yeah, tell me out here living his best life, you know what I'm saying? Like,
damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. Happened to you.
Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you? You know what I'm saying? They got running water. They got bourbon with ice. They're outside watching movies, you know what I'm saying? Bootleg movies. I don't know. They watching Quantum Medium or whatever. They chilling. They got the luxuries of life. This is the closest to a real society this has ever been. And you got to give it up to Tommy. Because thinking about in the first episode, Tommy was in jail and Joe had to go down to bail him out. He was always kind of fuck up, but his brother was there to help him out. Now, you know, it's kind of reversed. Tommy is living his life. He got, you know what I'm saying? He got a little boo with him, little boo thing, you know what I'm saying? She's pregnant. He's living his life. But Joe is like, I can't take Ellie with me, you know what I'm saying? I can't lose her again like that. So could you take her to the Fireflies? And you know what I'm saying? I'll leave, I'll be on my way, because he just can't take the pressure of having Ellie killed. I mean, that's it. You know, he can't, because he's old, he's not as quick as he used to be, and he think he will fail. And Tommy's younger, and he think that he has what it takes to get her there. You know, crazy decision on this part for him to even ask Tommy this, because Tommy has a family now. He has a setup. He has a baby on the way. So that's kind of crazy in itself. But it was also crazy, Joe was trying to contact Tommy over the radio, but he never answered because they didn't want to give up the location, you know. But if that was my brother for real, like, I got, and this type of situation, the apocalypse, I have to know if my brother's okay. You communicate to me any way you can. Just say I'm all right. I'm not giving up my location, or at least let him know you're alive. That's what I'm saying. So I thought that was selfish and weird on both parts. That's my one gripe about this episode. This scene here had to be done with such care, because if you get this wrong, I mean, it's no turning back. I thought they really nailed their performances between Joe and Ellie again. Okay, last episode we had a lot of clickers and a lot of you know what I'm saying, the bloaters and that crazy action scenes, what I think was probably the biggest in the show thus far. And here nobody really dies. Oh, except that one guy, Joe choked out at the end of this episode. But other than that, we don't get that. So it's smart, you know, episodic wise, because they gotta save their money. You know what I'm saying? They gotta, you know, put their money where their mouth is. So sometimes you're gonna have big action sequences, and sometimes you have to rely on the acting and the characters. This is character development, I think, at its finest. You know, we really are invested now with Joe and Ellie. Even though we meet new people, we found out their situation is interesting. All this character-driven storytelling, this narrative is interesting. That's why I said I seen another movie this past weekend, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm like, there's all type of shit going on, but I don't care about nobody here. This episode concentrates and make you care. And a lot of people's like, I need them clickers, I need them zombies around every corner. Yo, it's a lot of shit you can watch out there that you can get that from. Like, hell, Zack Snyder has a very action-oriented zombie film that's kind of fun, but the characters are kind of forgettable. Name me one character you really remember in there. Maybe Mekhi Phifer's, I don't know. In the game, shit, you can kill the zombies all day. It's way more action. But from a game that's based on mostly narrative storytelling, I would expect the show to do narrative storytelling more than the monsters be the focus, because that's not the focus of this. If you watching Last Stuff expecting clickers and monsters everywhere, it's not gonna be that. I mean, this story doesn't work if you don't sell Ellie and Joe. It just, the whole thing doesn't work to me. I don't know why I'm like only person that sees that. Like, nobody else sees that. Like, if these people don't work together, and then the rest of the characters around them, this whole show fails. So I still think they're in Wyoming and they end up at a university. I remember this part from the game because it was so beautiful, but I think that it happened in October in the game. Here, I think it's the dead of winter. Okay, maybe they just didn't have, it wasn't the right time of year to shoot it, so they decided to go with winter. I still thought it looks fine, but I think it looks better in the game. That's what I compare it to, because I remember that, like, all these autumn leaves over this university, no one's here, it's just very cool. The monkeys were in the game too, they were cool to see. They finally get an indication that the fireflies are near, so they investigate it, but it turns up to be a dead end, and they find another place they need to go. And then Joe gets rushed by raiders. He ducks one, the guy breaks the bat, they fall into each other. Joe ends up, this is the one guy that dies in the episode, he ends up breaking his neck, looks at Ellie, Ellie looks up, and he's got this this baseball bat impaled in his abdomen. He's like, oh shit, he's about, you know, he's just about to die. It happened different in the video game. I think he fell on some rhubarb, and it was kind of like bam, like, oh shit, like that. I think it could have worked both ways. Here again, I like it. I like them both, but I like it a little better in the game because it's just like spontaneous and happened. I get it why they did it for the reveal, like. So we end this episode, they get away from the raiders. Joe's dying on the horse. He's like pale as a ghost at this point. You know, I was like, damn, man, he's good. Now I remember, now it's coming back, because I don't remember everything from the game, but this start coming back. He is pale as a ghost, and he just kind of fucking flaps down on the ground, and Ellie gets down there. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do without you. I can't do this fucking thing up to die. She's scared to death, you know what I'm saying? And those little tears are her big pupils. She got some big pupils. The tears start coming out. Like, shit, man, you really invested now. Like what's gonna happen now? They leave you with a holy shit moment. Every single episode of this show is always some holy shit moment. And I think this is the holy shit moment of this episode. So I really enjoyed this episode. I was debating on whether I'm going to give it a 4.5 or a 4. I think I'm still stick to the 4. Very great dramatic performances, but by the cast. Like I said, I only had a little gripes that changes the story. Like, you know, like why didn't Tommy answer the phone calls when he was calling the radio? That was weird, you know, things like that. But other than that, man, performance wise, I think they knocked this out of the park. What did y'all think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this review, go ahead, hit me that like button. And if you really like this content, consider subscribing to the Q Review family. We'll be back next week with, I think, some DLC left behind that might be talking about Ellie. Oh. And don't just stare at it. Eat it. Peace.
I'm out cold, you hoes been exposed. Walk up on you slow with the foe and unload. You got more left for dead on the road. I strode when your car got towed.